Good morning, and welcome to Mitchell Consulting's training series for SAP Business One. Today we're going to talk about the bank reconciliation program. So let's go into banking, and we can see from our bank reconciliation program under SAP, we can go to bank statements and external reconciliations, and we can open up the bank reconciliation. Now, before I begin that, let's go over a few concepts and how the information actually gets into the bank rec program. So we're going to start off here with incoming payments. So in SAP Business One, we can actually create an incoming payment, and that incoming payment could be set to go to a clearing account. The reason why we do this is because the money is not deposited yet in the bank, but we need to enter the payment to affect our customer. We want to affect the customer to show that the invoice has been paid. This way, it'll affect his credit limits and any information about the business partner. So simply here, we can go in and we can select a business partner. So let's do Earthshaker. Let's go here and let's put the actual date of the payment. So we're just going to leave it on today's date. We're going to select the payment. So here we're going to pay of this one here. Let's select $2,000. Okay. Let's go to the payment means, and we're going to do this as a bank. We'll do it to Bank of America, and we'll copy the balance due. So we're going to actually enter a check. Let's make this check 1, 2, 3. We're going to click OK, and we're going to add the payment. Let's call that back up. Let's look at the effect in the system. You can see that the business partner, Earthshakers, has been credited. This is going to affect his aging and all his limits, so real time. We've taken care of the customer, and the money actually got posted to a check clearing account. The reason why we do this is because we haven't deposited the money. The next step to actually bring this into the bank would be the deposit. So let's close this, and let's look at deposits. Now, the key to deposits is this is what actually flows into the bank reconciliation. So what we want to do is we want to be able to select this and have the date match the date of the deposit. So for example, you can see our outstanding checks. These are checks that have not been deposited into the bank. These are from the incoming payments to the business partners. We also have credit cards for the credit card processing, and our cash is in a lump sum. So if we took, say, $100 in cash, we would go in here and just enter the $100. So we're going to go into the checks, and we're going to select the checks, the bank we're going to deposit in, and the corresponding date. Again, this is critical because this is what's going to flow into the bank reconciliation. So let's say I receive this check on the 15th, but I haven't been able to get to the bank till the next day. So I want to make my deposit date, in this case, the 16th. I want to go ahead and I want to select the bank account I'm going to put it in. So we're going to put it in the checking account here. Okay. We're going to select our line, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this. Okay. If we call up the transaction we did, we can see that now the deposit came in on 5/16. Even though we received the check the day before, we actually deposited in the bank the day after. So you can see here, you can see the effect in general ledger that we've now moved the money from the clearing account, and we actually put it into the checking account. So this is what affects the bank reconciliation program. The deposit screen here is what's going to update the deposits on the bank rec. So again, critical that you should match the dates of the deposit to the actual date you deposit. This makes it easier when looking at your bank statement because you can see the information and not have to make it easy to reconcile. Of course, the outgoing payments also affect based on the date for the bank reconciliation program. So let's go into the bank rec program. Okay, I just have it here as a shortcut under my common functions. So I'm just going to open it up, and we can see here the information. This is the account code. This is the bank we're going to select. So we're going to tab, and we're going to select the cash at bank checking account. All right. You can see the name of the account. You can see the currency. Again, SAP Business One is multi-currency, but we are dealing in U.S. dollars. So we have our U.S. dollars here. We have our last balance from the last bank statement. So what we're doing is today we're going to do April. So this would be at the end of March. Here is the ending balance that we would enter from our bank statement. So we take the information from our bank statement, we add it here, and we select our ending date. Okay, I've already filled that in. So let's click OK. So here we have our bank reconciliation program. You can see here the types. You can see deposits and payments that are sitting in the system. Okay. You notice you don't see the ones I just did from May, because what I'm doing is I'm reconciling at the end of April. So because I put April as my date, anything in the future is not going to show. You're going to have the information in the past. You can see here the cleared book balance, the statement balance, and of course our difference. Once the difference hits 0, we'll be able to reconcile this. The reconciliation button will come up so we can reconcile when we have this at 0. We also have the ability of saving as we go along, which I'm going to show you in a minute. A lot of our larger clients do this because they have a lot of transactions in their bank, and what they do is they go on a weekly basis or even a daily basis, they go online, they download the checks that have cleared and the deposits, and they enter as they go along. They save the work until everything is done. So a little bit about the system. You have the display. Right now we're displaying all the transactions. We can display what we've already cleared, which we haven't cleared anything yet, and we can display the uncleared. We also have the find option, so when we can look up and find a specific check. So let's go here and set this to all. And very simple, we can clear. You see right now we're in date order. If we like, we can double click on the type, so we can put it in order of deposits and payments. So very simple, I'm going to go here, I'm going to clear the deposits. As I'm doing that, you can see the difference down here change. So we're going to clear these deposits, and then we're going to go in and we're going to clear some checks. Now what I can do is this, as we talked about before, I can come in here at the end of the week, say at on April 6th, get the information from my bank, and I'm going to clear this information. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Save. And you can see down here by the green that information's been saved. So when I exit and I come back in and I select my bank account again, I'm going to be right where I left off. So I can just go ahead and click here, and you can see the information is already saved. All right? I can now display what I have cleared, so I can check it this way. I can also come back in and just only want to see the stuff I have not cleared yet. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to put it all back on all. So we're going to go through here, and let's just clear these. Let's say all these are cleared except we're going to leave that last one off, and we're going to go ahead and clear that. So you can see here, again, what we've cleared and what is uncleared. We have this one check that hasn't hit the bank yet. Okay, let's go back here. Now I still have a difference. I have a difference of $25. Right? Reason being, and I don't see it here because I don't see it $25. So why do I have a difference of $25? Okay, in that case, this was a bank charge. This bank charge is on the statement. I have not entered it in the SAP Business One yet. I just realized it based on the statement. So what the bank statement program allows me to do is actually enter adjustments or transactions that are on the bank statement, but for some reason were not entered in SAP Business One. So if you look here, you can do a journal entry. You can also do incoming payments, outgoing payments, checks, and deposits. So these are the features that are available in SAP. It allows you to do it here for whatever reason. Maybe you did a manual outgoing check. You wrote the check manually, you forgot to enter it to SAP, and now you see it on the bank statement. You can actually do the outgoing payment. Here I'm going to do a journal entry. I'm going to select it, okay, and you can see the journal entry information comes up. And I like to do the journal entries through here because of the origin. If you notice here, the origin is BN, which means this journal entry came from the bank rec program. You can also go ahead and enter a journal entry through the financial system and do the same thing. The difference is that journal entry that you enter through the financial system, the origin will have a JE for journal entry because it's considered a manual journal entry. I like to do it through here because it changes the journal entry. So again, in SAP, when I go into my reports, I can filter and see the journal entries that were for bank rec. So again, very simple. You can see the bank come out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to credit this $25. We're going to go here and we're going to select, let's just click here and look for bank charge. So we can select our bank charges. We can go ahead and put this here. So what we're doing is we're just creating a journal entry. We're realizing the bank charge, so we're going to debit our bank charge account for 25, and we're going to reduce the bank account for 25. We're going to click Add, okay? And now you can see the information that's in here, right? So we're going to go ahead and clear it out. Actually, I should have put the, let's go back and make a change. I should have changed the date. I'll actually put it on today's date. So that's okay. Let's look at it here. Okay, so we see the journal entry. We actually made a mistake on the date. So we're going to go to Data, and we're going to go ahead and cancel this journal entry. Let me get it here. Okay. And let's just go ahead and cancel that. So let's go do another one. So let's click Journal Entry. Let's change the date to 04/30. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to credit this 25. We're going to go ahead and select this. I'm going to debit this 25. We're going to add it. Okay. So now we have it here. So we're going to go in and we're going to go to our bank information. We're going to look at all. We're going to come in. We're going to see that amount was automatically cleared. Right? You can see the difference here is now 0. Right? So we've now gone ahead and we've cleared that on 4/30. Here's the information. So we're at 0. We can go ahead and put a bank statement number in here. What I like to do is just use the date. So I'm going to put 04/30/2012. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to click Reconcile. Right? So now we can see that we've reconciled that amount. Our difference is 0. We can go here and run our report. So we're going to go now run a bank reconciliation report. We're going to select our account. We're going to go ahead and select the one we did. So we did this one here, which was, again, the 4/30. Okay, and you're going to see our bank reconciliation report. Let me just open this up a little bit for you. Again, you're looking at the bank reconciliation report. This is the date we actually did it. Okay, this is the time we've done it. This is our bank statement date as well as our number. And we see that it's reconciliation number 5. We can look here. We can see the beginning balance, the checks we cleared, the deposits, and our ending balance. We can see the effect on the general ledger, okay, what was cleared, and so on, and any variance. And down here, we get all our details. Okay. So we're going to go to the next page, and we'll see here all our details. So we can see everything we cleared, and down here we can see what was left as uncleared. Just cancel that. So again, to recap that, what we did is we went into banking. All right, we discussed the incoming payments, how they affect. The incoming payments actually feed into the deposit program. The deposit program is what updates the amounts in the bank reconciliation. And we have our bank reconciliation. Okay, we have our report. If we go here, we can run a report. We can select our account. We can select our number. In this case, we're going to do the last one here. Okay, and we can see here, we have all our information. We can see what we've cleared, what has not been cleared. Okay. Now, what you can also do, and throughout the month, I did that one for you. The ending balance, if you're going to do it, say, on a weekly basis, you can just go ahead in and just put a balance for now, and you can change it later. So, for example, let's say I'm going to go here back to the account again. You can see my balance from the end of April. But here I can just put something like $1, and I can say 0530. I can click OK. And again, what I'm doing is I'm just opening it up. You can see everything here now. Because I put the end of the month, you can see the information. So the same holds true. You can go ahead and clear a couple of these on a daily or weekly basis. You can leave the difference. Okay, if you notice, if I try to click reconcile, you can see here I'm going to get an error because I can only reconcile when the difference is equal to 0. But I can save this. Okay. And then when I go back in, you can see the ones I've done. And I can do this, on a daily or weekly basis. I can come back in the next week, just open it up again. I may want to, again, let's look at uncleared. And I want to say, okay, well, let's, these checks came in. I want to do that. Click Save, and so on. So you can do that throughout the month. Again, you can run the reports. Once you have a bank reconciliation, you can actually go here. You can select. Okay, we don't see the one for May yet because we haven't actually reconciled. We're just saving information. And we can go here. Okay. If there's a mistake, we can go ahead and we can cancel the reconciliation. So let's go back to the one we were doing, this for here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do that. So we're just going to go here and we're going to say that our cleared amount is $217,904.53. I'm going to go back, put in 217,904.53, click OK, right? And we still have a different amount here. So let's do that, and we can see that our difference is 0. Right? So we're going to go ahead and reconcile this one. We're going to leave the statement date as empty, so we want to put a date in here. So we're going to say 05/2012. Okay, and we're reconciled. Again, if we go back to the report, we can see now we have this one. Okay, so let's say that we made a mistake because obviously I just kind of played with that ending balance to get it to be 0, and that was really wrong. So now I realize I made a mistake, and I just want to clear that, and I want to start all over again. What I can do is I can go to the Manage Previous External Reconciliations. Here I can select reconciliations I did for my bank statements or reconciliations I did internally for my business partners. So we're going to go here. We're going to click OK. We're going to look at all the reconciliations. We can see that these were manual reconciliations, which means I did them. They're not system reconciliations. There is a difference when you're dealing with the business partners. A system reconciliation is done by SAP Business One. So, for example, when you enter a payment to a customer and that payment you select specific invoices, that payment is reconciled internally to those invoices. It's a system reconciliation. I wouldn't be able to clear it through here. I would have to go in and cancel or undo the incoming payment. But for here, I can just go to the one right here I have. You can see what I've done. And if I want to start again, I can cancel the reconciliation. Okay, you can see now that the reconciliation is gone. So if I go back to the bank rec, okay, you can see I no longer have that ending balance and that date of May 30th. So again, what I can do is I just unclear it. So if I go back in, right, you can see here that everything is back to what it was. The system was uncleared. If we go back to the Manage Previous Reconciliations, right, you no longer see it here, okay, because it's been canceled. So that allows us, if we do make a mistake, to go in and make any changes. So to recap, I guess the bank reconciliation is kind of an easy program when you're in balance. The issue comes when obviously you have a difference. But to recap, what we want to do is we want to talk about how the bank reconciliation works. It's fed from the deposits. So the deposits come from incoming payments. And we enter our incoming payment like we did here. You can see that the incoming payment affects the business partner directly. So if I look at the link, you can see that I credited the business partner for the amount he paid. And what I did is I'm in a clearing account. I haven't actually put the money into my checking account, so it's sitting in a temporary or clearing account. Then what I do is I go into the deposit program. And my deposit program, I select the date. I'm actually going to deposit the money in the bank. I go ahead and I select my bank account. Right, so I can come here and I can select the actual amount like that. And I would select my checks. When doing deposits, you're going to have to do a separate deposit, though, for checks and cash. And we tell that to a lot of our clients. I know sometimes you go to the bank and you have checks and cash kind of put together, but when you're dealing with both, you have to actually create a deposit for the checks, and you have to create one here for the actual dollar amount or cash. So you would actually do two on the same day. So we'll actually create two deposits. And if we call one of those up, the last one we did, and again, we can look here at the transaction, the effect in general ledger, and you can see how we moved the money from the clearing account and we put it into the bank account. So now it's actually in our bank account. Okay. And that is what feeds the deposits into the bank reconciliation program. The rest comes from the outgoing payments to the payments. So if we go back to manage, let's actually go to the one we just did. And again, here we can look at what we've done. In this case, this was the one we did. You can see the dates, okay, all the information. You can see the effect of what we cleared. And this is the reconciliation for April. We want to print. We can go to the bank reconciliation report. We can select our bank account. Go ahead and get our corresponding one here. So let's do this one here. And again, we can see the bank reconciliation report. We can see the bank statement information, the GL information on top, the difference of 0. We can see the cleared checks and payments. And at the end of the report, we can see the uncleared. So that is the bank reconciliation module in SAP Business One. Any questions? Okay, no questions. Well, that concludes our training session for today. Once again, Mitchell Consulting, this is our webinar series on tips and tricks and training for SAP Business One. This will be available on our website, so you can go and watch this on the website. And there's no questions. We thank you very much for your time.